Hello, friends and neighbors of the interwebs. It's Josh coming to you with the Vitamin Joy Tarot reading. So, you might not have heard, but I'd be surprised if you hadn't. I created a tarot deck this year, the Vitamin Joy Tarot. Big fan of tarot. This is my first tarot deck I've ever created. And I call it the Vitamin Joy Tarot deck for a lot of reasons. I'm a big believer in what I call vitamin joy. When things are hard in this life, as they inevitably are, we must seek out joy like a vitamin. We need to find joy. We need to. It's a vitamin. If we don't get enough joy, we will grow up to be jaded and bitter and judgy and bitchy. And that's not a way to get through our one precious life. We are here to enjoy ourselves. Now, when it comes to joy, it's something that we have to think of in moderation because every medicine can become a poison if we get too much of it. So let's think about joy as a medicine, a vitamin. We can't take too much of vitamin D or vitamin C. We don't want to poison ourselves. Let me shuffle 5 times, and as I do so, I'm not sure if you can see the words on my shirt. Grace Potter is an artist that I love. I've loved her ever since I discovered her way back in 2006, 2007. It's almost 20 years now. And I get a lot of joy out of her music. She's a Vermonter, just like me. Very unapologetic in the way that she brings her music to the world. She's kind of a weirdo. If you ever watch her videos of her talking about stuff in her own personal life, she's a wackadoodle. So love her music, and that is a bit of vitamin joy for me. Especially the song The Lion, the Beast, the Beat. I think it's one of the best rock songs of our modern age. Sound off below in the comments with the music that you love that brings you vitamin joy. I'd love to discover new artists. So I'm going to cut this deck, and this is a 5-card reading. The first card talks about where we're at in this moment right now. So collectively, we are the Ace of Wands. Okay. This is a card of beginnings. This is a card of fire. All right. So with that being said, the card of beginnings and the card of fire, we are almost at September 1st, which is the beginning of meteorological autumn. This is, for me, a card of magic and inspiration. Big thumbs up card. As we move into the autumn season, and in its own way, especially here in New England where there's foliage, it is a season of fire. The trees are about to light up all around us. This is also, to me, a card saying, we've got to go for it. Life is short, fire burns out, that we must take this world that we're living in and not just wait for the magic of the world to affect us, but for us to affect the world in a positive way. I've given a lot of readings today, and in a lot of those readings, not all of them, but a lot of them, the message of what do you want to bring to the world? What are you here for? What's your soul's purpose? What are you waiting for? I'm going to ask you this question. What are you waiting for? Now, I just brought up Grace Potter in music, and I chose the microphone as the Ace of Wands. I love that. Not all of us are musicians. Not all of us are going to be up on stage, but I think that there is a bit of magic in every single one of us to bring to the world. Some wonder, some splendor. I think that we all have that. I think if we tap into that and confront our fears, we can make the world a better place. So, what's your soul's purpose? Why are you here? And what kind of magic can the world benefit from you? Okay. So the next 4 cards are advice and guidance about how to find joy in each of the areas of our life. Our mind, our heart, our body, our spirit. So let's first touch base with our mind. Here is how we find joy. The Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So the Wheel of Fortune talks about fate, and it talks about what goes up must come down. If you're somebody that's not particularly enjoying the political climate of the United States, you gotta know that things fall down. This too shall pass. I don't like to talk about politics because I don't like to participate in division, and we have far too much division in this world. But I do see how there is so much pain and so much turmoil happening in the United States right now. Prices are going up, baby. Prices are going up. Where the world, the wars in Ukraine and Gaza, they're not ending. Still waiting. You know what I mean? I'm still waiting. So, the Wheel of Fortune, if you are particularly challenged by what's going on in the United States, will remind you that this too shall pass. Big important message, I think. Okay. Heart. How do we find joy in our heart? The Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles, for me, always encourages me to remember my truth. So I'm going to ask you if you can remember your truth. I think that's important because if we know what our truth is, we know what we're made of, we know who we are, nothing can sway that. Nothing can sway that. I know my truth, I know who I am, I know what I'm about, I know why I'm here. Screw other people's opinions about that. Like, why would I care? So I find a lot of joy in my heart in knowing the truth of who I am, finding authority in myself. I'm about to announce my second book of the year, coming out in October, very shortly. So this is my authority, and I find that the word author exists in authority for a reason. I author my life. I tell myself the right story about myself to myself. I find my authority. I'm going to encourage you to do the same. I'm going to encourage you to do the same. What is your authority, and how can you be the author of your own life? The next card is joy for our body. The Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is very much a card of childlike nostalgia and joy. So let's, for instance, I'm a 46-year-old man. Every once in a while, I love playing laser tag. Running around, playing laser tag. That's a lot of fun for me. For some reason, horseshoes popped into my head. You know, like the game of horseshoes, backyard games, play. I did choose these 6 cups for, beer pong to put on to this card because it's a game. And there is childlike nostalgia always associated with that card. So what is something, for instance, I grew up with the original Nintendo. Every once in a while, I like to fire up Super Mario Brothers 3 just to play for a few minutes, just to find a little bit of that childlike joy. And that gives my body some joy. This could also be pickleball. This could be volleyball. This could be something where now I'm seeing badminton, backyard stuff. How can you play a little bit with your body and find some joy there? Finally, let's look at what brings joy to our spirit. The Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands to me is the king or the queen of the hill. This is known in some spiritual traditions as the Lord of Valor. That means that you have everything inside of you to survive everything that comes your way. Let's take a look at these cards again. Here we are, magical beings with magic inside of us, that we got to remember that and make the world a better place by finding it. We got to remember that what goes up comes down, the Wheel of Fortune. That helps out our mind to remember that not everything lasts. We have to remember our own authority and author our own story. This helps our heart. We have to find childlike joy in games and play. Have some play. Maybe even just go for a walk. Enjoy nature. You know what I mean? Find a rail trail or something near you where you can find some joy in the outside. In movement itself. That's the Six of Cups. And then finally, the Seven of Wands. Remember how much of a badass you are. Remember how much your spirit has a fierce passion in the things that you fight for, and the mountains that you would move for those that you love, and the values that you hold dear. So that's the Vitamin Joy Tarot reading. Thank you for being here, and I hope that you got something out of it. Again, do me a favor. Leave in the comments below some music that you would like to share with other people. I'm a big fan of Grace Potter, and I cannot wait to go to her festival, Grand Point North, in a couple of weeks in September in Burlington, Vermont. So, on the off chance that you'd be there, I'm going to be there as well. Take care of yourselves. All my love to you. Go get your vitamin joy. I'll see you next time.